couldn't come, that's the heavy rain. He couldn't come, that's the heavy rain. Because of, due to, as a result of, arising from. Okay. One, we say that's the heavy rain. So definitely we have a phrase there. So, and it's not a clause. So before we can join, we cannot use because of, because it's always used when you should have a clause. So it couldn't come because it rained heavily, or it couldn't come due to the heavy rain. So the answer is due to, because we have a phrase there. So both due to and because do perform the same function, but because is used when you have a clause, while due to is used when you have a phrase. So that is apt to this. The defense counsel does the court for adjournment. The defense counsel does the court for adjournment. Asked, pleased, appealed, prayed. So when you are actually asking the court to grant something, so that is praying. So the defense counsel prayed the court for adjournment. So what you use is prayed. So of course you can appeal the kind of case you think you are not contented with. But if it is if it has to do with asking a favor from the court, you pray. The defense counsel prayed the court for adjournment. It is dash, as you can use both hands equally. So what would you say the person is? The ability to use both hands skillfully. There is by dexterity. So he is ambidextrous, having to be able to use both hands equally. So we say the person is ambidextrous. A dash election was conducted to fill the vacant position in our constituency. What type of election do we conduct to fill a vacant position, especially in the parliament? Primary election, by-election, rerun election, second ballot. Of course, it is by-election. A primary election is conducted within each political party to determine a candidate or a flag bearer. The rerun election is conducted in order to choose a popular candidate, especially in absolute reality system, which is also known as second ballot. So, but by-election is usually conducted when there is a vacant position in the parliament to fill in. So, a by-election was conducted to fill the vacant position in our constituency. It is high time we dash the national anthem dash hat. One, it is high time, like I said, then after it is high time, the next verb should be a past verb. It is high time we land. So already we have option A's and B. C and D are out of options because the next verb should be a past tense. Now the next thing is dash hat. So when you are to actually put your mind in something while learning, you learn by heart. That is, it's high time we learn the national anthem by heart. Scarcely had we started, dash he became tired. Like I said when I was talking about hardly when, scarcely when, no sooner than, not only but also. So immediately you see the word scarcely, you should know that the next joiner is going to be when. Had it been I had no sooner here, no sooner had we started, then the answer will be done. So you should make sure the conjunctions usually go with the correct correlates. So hardly and scarcely will go with when, but no sooner will go with that. He dashed a lot of problems when he was younger. So past tense, undergo, underwent, undergone, undergoes. So the past tense of undergo, that is, we are talking when he was younger. So which is past tense, that is underwent. He underwent a lot of problems when he was younger. I heard you dash my name. Call, called, calling, calls. After we have what we call bare infinitives. And after bare infinitives, the next verb must be a plural present verb. So in as much as you have heard, I heard you, the next should be a plural present verb, which is call. So it shouldn't be past tense, and it shouldn't be a continuous form. And of course, it cannot be a singular verb, which is cause I heard you call my name. So the answer is A. Bolu is a friend of dash. There, theirs, with apostrophe, them, theirs. We are talking about possessive nouns, possessive pronouns here. Possessive pronouns should not take apostrophe, so that takes this out of it. So, and possessive pronouns, the S should be written together with the word. So, Bolu is a friend of DS. It's a friend of DS. So, it should be written together without any apostrophe. Option D. She never saw me. That's question time. Did she? Does she? Doesn't she? Didn't she? So, like I said, it is not every aspect whereby whenever you have a positive or affirmative statement that you should have a negative question, because never actually means something negative. So it has represented the word not. She never saw me means she didn't see me. That is the she. The answer is going to be the she, the question, because never is a negative attribute. So which means did not. So the next question is going to be the she. This is the woman dash car was stolen yesterday. We've done this type of question before. Whose? This is who is or who was or who has. Whom's? Okay, which does not really exist. Whose? Which? And of course, we use which for non-human entity. So now whose? This is the woman whose car was stolen yesterday. Option C. He asked dash. Okay, that is reported speech. If I saw him, if I see him, did I see him? Did you see me? So he asked, that is you are reporting the statement now. Ordinarily, the original statement came up with, did you see me? Did you see me? Now you want to report the statement, it should be, he asked if I saw him. He asked if I saw him. So that is option A. The police rounded dash the place to invade their escape. So rounded dash, that is to surround and prevent anybody from going anywhere. So actually we have rounded up, we have rounded off. But in this case, if it is to prevent any escape, so that is they rounded up the place. They rounded up the place. But when you are bringing something to a summary, you say round off. For an instance, let us quickly round off the class so that we can go to our various places. But round up means to surround and prevent any form of escape. I wish he dashed you at the meeting. I wish. This is also a kind of verb that goes with past verb. So when you use I wish, it is like it is time, it is high time. The next verb is going to be a past form. I wish he saw you at the meeting. I wish he saw you. So after I wish, the next verb that should be used is a past tense. So many of these type of questions are usually contained. They are common in most of your UTME questions, and especially these your O-level exams. So, and that is why you will see that if you don't really know the nitty-gritties as this, you would rightly pick wrong options as your answers, and thereby your marks will now be antonymous to your expectations, because you don't really know if you have gotten it right or wrong. Because most times you treat it with suitability. It doesn't really matter how suitable it is, but we are talking about the reasons for the answers. So we have the basis here. So after I wish, the next verb should be a past verb. I wish he saw you at the meeting. Those criminals have been sent exile. What do you do? What type of preposition? On exile, to exile, into exile, inside exile. So you send someone into exile, not on exile. Because this is commonly spoken. He has gone on exile. You can go on errands. Okay, you can go on errands, but you go into exile, not on exile. So most times you do bring confusions as to this. The thief made dash with my items. Made of, made out, made away, made by. So for something to cut, for someone to cut away whatever you saw, is made away. Or he has actually made away with my items. That is, he has gotten them stolen. So away is the answer, option C. He came to the meeting, dash the heavy rain. He came to the meeting, dash the heavy rain. We're talking about concessions now. And concessions here we have despite of, although. He came to the meeting. despite the heavy rain, because of the heavy rain, in spite of the heavy rain, although the heavy rain. Of course, we need this is a phrase. That's the heavy rain. So definitely, since it's a phrase, so in spite of usually precede adverbial phrases of concession. If you are using despite, there is going to be a clause. Maybe you'll be correct to say he came to the meeting despite that it's rained heavily. Despite that it's rained heavily. That means it's a verb, it's a clause. But in as much as you're having a phrase here, it is going to be in spite of. In spite of the heavy rain, he came. So you are still saying the same. But despite is used for a clause, while in spite of is used for a phrase. The burial that starts today. How should it be written? Right, 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 right. Of course, it is right. It's going to take S. Like when we talked about, don't forget when we talked about singular tandems, that is words that usually do not have S, like wear, chalk, and so on. Also, we have pluralia tandems, that is, these are words that take S naturally, even when they are not plurals. You must add the S. So, right is one of it. Okay, we also have things like headquarters, suburbs, trousers, okay, tentacles. Okay, most of these kind of they take S. Mathematics, statistics, all these ones should take S naturally. So if you don't add the S, then it means you are wrong. Surroundings, whereabouts, okay, loggerheads. These are the kind of words whereby you know that okay, this is how they should be written because it naturally takes S. So we call them pluralia tandems. Yes, brother. Where's your brother? Bola is talking now. Where's your brother? Then Kule is answering. Oh, I'm afraid I don't know his dash. Just like what I just spoke about. Whereabouts, it must take S. I don't know his whereabouts. You must add S to it for you to be correct. But most times you see people, I don't know his whereabouts. I don't so, but it is incorrect. Anything you have to come up with this has to be with S. I don't know his whereabouts. That's option B. I came dash to buy and to sell. Buying and to sell. To buy and selling. To be buying and selling. This is question on parallelism. That is, grammar words must be parallel. So we have to infinitive and we have gerund. So if you are using to infinitive, you should make sure they are parallel. So maybe to buy and to sell, which is correct. Or I came buying and selling. So if you have buying here, selling should be here. But it would be inappropriate to say to buy and you have selling here. Buying here and you have to sell here. Or to be buying here and you have selling. So that is what these ones are not parallel. This is the only one that is parallel here. So I came to buy and to sell, or I came buying and selling. So that is the only parallel one. So option A is the answer. Did you learn English when you were at school? In school, inside school, at school, on school. That is an appropriate preposition. Did you learn English when you were at school? Did you learn English when you were at school? So that is the correct preposition. It has gone before we knew. Had gone, have gone, has gone, would be gone. We have two sequence of tenses there. So actually we need a past perfect tense. So there are two events. We knew. That is one. That is joined using a subordinating conjunction there. So then here must be a past perfect tense, which is had. He had gone before we knew. So if we don't have up to two sequences, then it can be he has gone. Had it been we don't have before we knew, maybe if the sentence stops here, he dash gone. So the answer would have been he has gone. But in as much as we are having another sequence there, so before we knew, this is another clause. So it's going to be a past perfect. He had gone before we knew. We have to dash resources together to achieve a common goal. What word do we use? So of course this is also common in questions. Pull, put, gather. So that is to bring different kind of things together. That is all belongings that can make things better. Pull, this is only pull, not to draw. We are talking about to come in large numbers. So that is we are pulling resources together. Of course, it's often confused with this. As well, most of candidates, you see 90% of candidates will go for this. So meanwhile, it is incorrect. So we pull resources together to achieve a common goal. The man has been appointed dash of the state. The man has been appointed dash of the state. Secretary, as the secretary, to be the secretary. Anytime you see things like appointed, elected, you don't need to put anything, not as or to. The next thing is to put that title. The man has been appointed secretary of the state. You are not adding anything. So, not the man has been appointed as secretary or as secretary or to be the secretary. All those ones are grammatically inappropriate. So, the man has been appointed secretary of the state. She couldn't write, that she could read. I think we have seen this kind of question before, and this is a negative, and we are positive here. So, like I said, what can join it is but. She couldn't write, but she could read. So there are two contradictory things there. So you cannot use and. So if you are using and, both statements must be in the positive aspect. But even as much as you have a not somewhere and the second one is positive, the next to join it is but. The two guys are now at dash. I think I made a mention of this when I was talking about the earlier than. Okay. Loggerheads, it must have s. They are now at loggerheads. The car was dashed fast that I couldn't catch up with. When we were talking about correlative conjunctions too, in as much as you have that here, then so will be the one to join it. So that the car was so fast that I couldn't catch up with. So because this is the conjunct, so we have the best correlates there. Your sister and wife dash have to see you. Okay, your sister and wife. Okay, so I think there is a mistake in the question. Your sister and wife have come to see you. So okay, now normally it is going to be a singular verb. If it is well written, you should have a singular verb because it means in as much as you are having your sister and wife, the person's wife is also the person's sister. So because it would have been a different thing had it read that your sister and your wife. Your sister and your wife, that means the sister is different from the wife. But in as much as you are saying your sister and wife, it means you got married to your sister. So it's talking about the same person. So the next verb should be a singular verb. So your sister and wife is maybe according to, if it is going to be a correctly written question, so it's going to be a singular verb. It's the same thing because that's what we call Siamese subject. The same person. If I say the governor and commissioner for justice, the governor and commissioner for justice is around. It means I'm saying the governor is also the commissioner for justice. But it would be a different thing if I had said the governor and the commissioner for justice. If Article D precedes the second position title, then it means they are two different people. So mind you, so when you see such kind of question, it is not always when and joins entities that they become true. So we call it Siamese subject. So we are talking about the same person. He wrote the letter dash ink. So what preposition? In, with, by, on. He wrote the letter in ink. He wrote it in ink. Or you can say he wrote it with pen. Okay, or pencil, but he wrote it in ink. He used preposition in for such. She ate the whole food that she was famished. For, and, since, by. So what preposition? Coordinating conjunction. Conjunction should be used. Coordinating conjunction, which is because she ate the whole food for she was famished. It was because she was famished, that was answer. For representing because there. She ate the whole food for she was famished. Have you ever dashed in the Pacific? Have you ever dashed in the Pacific? Swam, swimmed, swim. What's the perfect tense of swim? that is swarm. And since you have an anomalous verb here, you should have a perfect tense there. Have we ever swum in the Pacific? Because we have swim, swam, swarm. Of course, this is not part of it. So swim, swam, swarm. And we need the perfect one since we have an anomalous verb. Have you ever swum in the Pacific? I went to the dash office. Directors General, Director Generals, Directors Generals, Director General. So the general is going to have the apostrophe. I went to the Director General's office. Option B. I went to the Director General's office. Okay. This place is strictly dashed to students. Okay, out of bound, out of bounds, out of bind, out of the bound. So bounds is also a pluralia tantrum. This place is out of bounds, not just out of bounds. This place is out of bounds for students. So make sure the S is added for you will be correct. It looks forward to dash a better result. It looks forward to. After having looked forward to, the next should be a gerund. He looks forward to getting a better result. It should be an I. He looks forward to getting a better result. I look forward to seeing you at my birthday party. Okay. He came with a view to telling us the truth. Most of these kind of verbs, they have I in the formation verb. By the time I think that will succeed them. The dash of the book was written by Professor Pat. Forward. So that is a preface. The forward, that is B. The correct spelling, forward. Okay. Without dash words, he is upright. Without dash words, he is upright. Without mincing words. So that is option B. That is to be frank, to be kind, not to, without beating around, without mincing words, he is upright. So we have option B. All the illegally constructed shops have been dashed, closed down, closed up, closed off, closed in, closed down. That is permanently. In as much as it is illegally constructed, that is going to be permanent. Had it been it is temporarily, there is going to be closed up. For instance, if the question is the shops were dashed pending renovation, that means it's going to be temporary. So it will be the shops were closed up pending renovations. But in as much as they are illegally constructed, so there is no point having to reopen them. So that is closed down. The shops were closed down, so it is permanently shut. The sick dash to be considered in the public. Okay, the sick, that is a plural word. So mind you, you don't put S. The sick means sick people. The sick are to be considered in public. The sick are to be considered in public. Don't say because you don't have S here that you actually want to make it a singular. No, the sick actually means sick people. That is a plural word. So are to be considered. Gently dash the knife from the boy. Gently dash the knife from the boy. Rest. Wrestle, snatch, wriggle. So to collect carefully and fastly. That is rest. Kindly rest the knife from the boy. That is option A. You wrest it from him. He has just got a dash building in the heart of the town. 4 story, 4 storage, 4 story, 4 stories. So the answer is 4 storage. Okay, when you have certain number, it's going to be an adjective to describe it. So 4 storage, it is made into story. So 4 storage building. He had no choice dash to forgive him. After he had no choice or he had no alternative, the next thing is but, not than. It's commonly used to say he had no choice than to, which is wrong. He had no choice but to forgive. So you use the word but. Okay. Have you ever read any of Machiavelli's dash? That is artistic work. So we call it works. Works. Have you ever read any of Machiavelli's works? So anything that has come with art, So we call it works. But mind you, work will always become work will still become work. That is, plural form of work is still work. For instance, I have a lot of work to do. You don't add s. But when it comes to artistic things, like a form of maybe song or book or anything of such kind of movie, so that is one of my works. So we are talking about artistic kind of work. So it can carry s there. You had better dash the dash now. You had better. So we have participle, which must also go with participle verb. You had better sung. You had better sung. Since you have sing, sang, sung. You had better sung the song now. You had better sung the song now. The song, that is the music itself. So then here is a participle of sing. So you had better sung the song now. That is option A. The children painstakingly watched their father dash the guitar. Watched their father dash the guitar. This is also a bare infinitive. So the next verb should be a plural present verb. The children painstakingly watched their father play the guitar. So play the guitar. This is going to be a plural present verb. If she knew, she dash called you. This is past tense. Like I said, if the condition is in past, this one will be past. If it is present, then this one is in present. If it is perfect, this one will be in perfect tense. So if she knew, she wouldn't call you. If she knows, she will not call you. She won't call you. If she knew, she wouldn't call you. If she had known, she wouldn't have called you. If she had known, she wouldn't have called you. So if she knew, she wouldn't call you. So I have dashed oranges. Let me give you that. We are to choose between few and few. And of course, a few is still more than few. So a few means it is still sizable. We have sizable number, though not many, lower than many. But few is abysmally low. So from a few, you can still give few. I have a few oranges. Let me give you. So I can no longer give you any more oranges because I only have few left. But I can easily tell you, I have a few clothes in my wardrobe. Let me give you some. So you can still give out of a few. Next. I dashed an old friend of mine yesterday to meet by chance. Okay. To meet by chance. I ran into, ran through, ran in, ran by. That is to run into. I ran into an old friend of mine yesterday. So that is, you were not expecting that. You only met by chance. I ran into an old friend of mine yesterday. That my father doesn't mean you have to force things on me. Being, having been, to be. So of course, when you're having something like this, you should have a verb to be rather than having a verb to have. So being my father doesn't mean you have to force things on me. That's option A. They are married for better dash worse. This is a common error people do make. You do see they are married for better for worse or for better for. It is actually or, not for. They are married for better or worse. They are married for better or worse, not for better for worse. So the answer is C. Dr. Kola, through his wives, dash us gifts. Dr. Kola, through his wives. This is also first joiner, through. So who is giving the gift? That is Dr. Kola. Dr. Kola is the one giving the gift. So it's only through the wife. So the giver is Dr. Kola. In as much as he is singular, you should have a singular verb. Dr. Kola, through his wives, gives us gifts. Their evil plans eventually fell down. We are talking about phrasal verbs. So what preposition should go with fall to mean fail? So fell in, fell by, fell off, fell through. When so something falls through, it means it failed. Their evil plans eventually fell through. Okay, yes, once again, viewers, I would always enjoy to subscribe to all our social media handles and also share, invite friends, and hit the like button, and also pay attention to most of these teachings. They will so much help you long way in your forthcoming exams as I wish you success. Thank you. Once again, I am Jatora.